You are watching Versus Omnis, and what I've got for you today is some new Pokemon Go battles. So what I've got here is I'm rocking Escavalier in the lead with my Alolan Muck and my Gyarados. So what I'm leading with the Escavalier, I think he ends up with a lot of really good matchups with what people are leading. Dragonite is certainly not the best one because he will beat me to the Dragon Claws most of the time, or at least is just winning the CMP tie. So every time I play this, I end up doing it just a little bit differently. In this one, I decide that I'm going to go ahead and shield the second Dragon Claw so I can throw another Aerial Ace, and this way I think I will get a shield from him. But I'm not really sure where to go with it from there. So I do get the shield, which is kind of what I expected. So now we're just kind of firing off, and he decides that he does not want to risk the farm down, and so he decides to throw the Dragon Claw, which overall I'm fine with. It does not give me a lot of farm, but I get one hit on the Dragonite going into the next matchup. So then he comes in with Tangrowth. This is definitely not a great matchup for me. Yes, he's taking neutral damage from the Dragon Breaths, but the Rock Slide is going to be a ton of damage. So I'm just going to throw some crunches here, and I think I'm going to end up switching out because my matchup with Alolan Muck is fantastic. And so he comes in with Lapras. This is still totally okay with me, and this is why a lot of time I'm running both Gyarados and Alolan Muck, is that they have so few like truly bad matchups that I can switch between them pretty comfortably. So I am going to take some Surfs, and it's solid neutral damage, but Lapras doesn't have too high of attack. So I'm just going to keep launching off these Dark Pulses. I just want to take as much health off this Lapras as possible. I know he's going to get to another one, but he may have been trying to over-farm there, or maybe he lagged up. I was expecting him to hit one first, but I get off the Dark Pulse, finish him off. And now I don't want to risk the Alolan Muck taking that first charge move. So I switch back into the Gyarados, and I just figure I'm going to try to put one crunch into him. I don't quite hit the crunch, which is super sad. So now I'm like, okay, well now I've got to take one charge move. He throws the Power Whip, but it's not quite enough to take me out. If he had saved for the Rock Slide, I think I go down there. I throw the Dark Pulse, and oh man, it barely takes him out. That was one where I think there was a mistake on each side, and that made it really close. Yeah, if he saved and just went for that Rock Slide, I think he wins that game. But okay, off to a solid start. Now I'm playing against CXMZZ. All right, he has got a Gengar lead. This is not great for me. So I'm just gonna stay in, throw a Drill Run. I think here I just let him hit me with this move. It's just a Shadow Punch, so not too bad. Now I'm gonna find out like what happens here. Is he gonna shield? And he doesn't shield, and it just annihilates him. So I don't know if maybe that trainer just wasn't familiar with this matchup. Here I think I go ahead and shield. No, okay, in this one I go ahead and let him go down. I decide, you know, I'm just going to bring in the Gyarados and save the shields for later because I'm feeling pretty good about where I'm at. So at this point, even though he's a water type, I'm still throwing the Aqua Tails because with the stab, then I do solid damage. He throws a Sludge Wave, which was a good call on his part. I was trying to conserve shields, and so he hit me with probably the hardest hitting move that I can take. Okay, so I just launch a Crunch into the Venusaur because I know that Alolan Muck has a good matchup with both of these, considering I have shield advantage. So, well, not shield advantage, but since I have double shield, I'm feeling really strong about this because I'm going to build up extra power on this Venusaur that can't hit me for any super effective damage. And then I'm going to go into that matchup with the Swampert, hopefully pretty loaded. So here he throws a Frenzy Plant. I decide I'm going to use one shield, and I'm going to build up to 2 Dark Bolts. I actually think I went one Snarl too far and overcharged. He does blow the shield there, and now I'm like, I'm just going to farm down. This is perfect. And I'm going to have two Dark Pulses going into the last matchup. So perfect. There, he can't quite take me out. I've got 2 Dark Pulses ready to go. So even if the Swampert had a Hydro Cannon, I'm still going to be able to get off both. So throws, I get the last shield, I still have a Dark Pulse ready to go, and so that's going to close out this matchup. But you can see I did not have that much health left on that Alolan Muck, so it was pretty close. But really, really good matchups. I was enjoying the set quite a bit. Overall, I did all 5 sets with this team yesterday, and I went 19-6. And almost every single matchup, I think I could have won. There was no completely hard counters. So I just think if I played a little better, I think I could have potentially won most of them. So here against the Lapras, I'm feeling pretty good about this matchup. He takes super effective from the counter damage. I decide I'm not going to be able to counter him all the way down. So let's throw one drill run and kind of see what he does. Here he decides to take it. I think that's a good call on his part. No need to shield that one. Now I think I can counter him down. And so I am willing to go down one shield against him, finish him off. And now I'm pretty loaded into the next matchup. I am worried about Charizards coming in, so I was potentially ready for a swap. In this one, I felt pretty comfortable. I'm just going to toss both drill runs into him and try to get this Clefable as low as possible or take some shields. And I'm able to get one shield and some health off of it. So now we're matched on shields and I have more overall health and I have good matchups. So here, I'm actually pretty happy with both of these matchups. So I'm just actually going to stay in here. I know that he wanted to get the Clefable, so he wasn't potentially taking the Sludge Waves, which is fine, but I'm feeling comfortable enough about this Tangrowth matchup that I'm willing to throw some moves here. So I've charged up pretty far, and that's why I'm willing to throw both shields. And so I decide I'm going to, again, I think I went one Snarl too far there. And actually went past 100 energy. So I throw the Dark Pulse, he shields, I'm fine with that. And I'm about to throw the next one, and he throws a move, and I'm like, oh shit. Thankfully, I barely survived with just like a sliver of health. I'm able to throw that last move. I go down to the Clefable. Now it's super close because I didn't throw that move a touch sooner. But I still think I can come out of this ahead. The Clefable throws a Meteor Mash, which is resisted, and so I'm going to get off my first Aqua Tail here, which should get him low. Not quite enough. I just have to beat him to the next Aqua Tail, and I get there. With, again, not very much health left at all. This was super close. As you can see, that was definitely, as Zionic says, 1 HP in a dream. Man, some really, really great games today. I was super happy during these sets. Okay, as you can see, like, I was messing around with a bunch of different teams and I totally tanked my elo. And so right now I'm in like, I'm going to try to do as well as I can. So here is another Dragonite lead. And I think, as I said, almost every one of these, I decided to play it differently. This one, I decided to throw the Aerial Ace right away. He throws the Dragon Claw right away. I'm going to go ahead and take it. I'm throwing the Aerial Ace. Part of why I have this on this team is so that for Dragonites and Charizards, I have a neutral move. Here, in this particular one, I decide I am not shielding, and I try to throw the Aerial Ace anyway, and I don't get it by like one move or a second of lag. So it is what it is. But I go into the next match with a slight energy advantage and no shield spent. And so I liked this a little bit more than when I was willing to throw a shield. So overall, I'm okay with this. He does shield the first crunch. I know he's going to throw Rock Slides, but then he throws a Power Whip. So good feint on his part. That definitely builds up his energy a little bit better. So I throw another crunch. I'm getting him low. I am not willing to take another Rock Slide, and I want to conserve that shield. So I switch over to the Muck to take the Rock Slide. It's neutral, but at least it's not super effective. Now he switches over to the Swampert. This is not a great matchup, but not the worst. I'm ahead on energy. This is going to be a Hydro Cannon. I decide I'm willing to shield this up. And now, but I'm a little worried that he's possibly going to beat me again, and so maybe I shouldn't have taken it at all. So I'm really just hoping that I survive this. And I do, but not quite enough to still get off that move. So I'm pretty sure this one ends up in a loss. This was one where I felt like I could have played it better. And I switch out, and then he still finishes me off. So yeah, that was one of the few losses, and I'm not 100% sure how I would play that one again. That one was just like a really hard game to play through, where I'm a second away from 2 different charge moves, both of which could have changed that matchup. So sometimes that's lag, sometimes that's just like perfect timing of stuff by your opponent. It's hard to say. Here, I do not want to take a Mud Bomb just yet. I want to conserve the health on this guy. And so I'm willing to throw the Drill Run. I think the Toxicroak will shield, which he does. And once he's shielded, I'm like, okay, I'm going to switch out. Outside of throwing a Sludge Bomb, there's not much Toxicroak can do versus Gyarados. And I was willing to take it, and he tried to fake me out, and he threw the Mud Bomb, which is huge for me. Calling that fake put me in a great spot. And now I'm able to farm him down with Dragon Breath before he even gets to another Sludge Bomb. So I'm feeling really good here. He brings in Swampert, which is not a great matchup for him. Like I said, the best thing he's going to be able to do is throw a Sludge Bomb, but I'm going to be just chunking down his health. I decide because he is a Shadow Pokemon and deals 20% more damage, I'm just going to shield this, and I think I can take him down. He does get off another move here, but I think it's just going to be a Hydro Cannon. It is, and so I still survive it. He switches out and catches my charge move on the other Pokemon, which is not great since it was a Dragonite, but he shields. So in the end, that's okay. But I think I might have wanted to switch out. I don't know. I think overall it's fine. Because now he doesn't have a shield, and I have Alolan Muck in the back. And so he's going to be able to hit me with a Dragon Claw, which is certainly going to hurt. Oh, he launches a Hurricane, and that totally finishes off the Muck. But I'm like, okay, I'm going to come in, farm down with my Escavalier, and then, boom, hit the last Drill Run. As you see, I didn't have my phone charging at this moment, and I was like, oh, it's getting kind of low. But I was able to win that pretty decisively, so I was happy with how that turned out overall. Okay, so overall, end up going 4-1 in that set. Really searching for that 5-0, but just I felt like I was always having one game where I just made a couple of mistakes, and so just need to tighten up my gameplay. So second set, actually this is the 5th set of the day, Escavalier versus Venusaur. I'm feeling pretty good about this matchup. He does not have a move that's going to hit me for super effective, and so I can tank that move just fine. And then he switches out into Blastoise, and I'm not exactly sure what I want to do here. I haven't seen a Blastoise recently in Ultra League. I have a Hundo myself, but I just haven't played it much in this league. So I switch out, and I'm holding on to basically almost 2 Drill Runs on the Escavalier. So I'm kind of just seeing how the Alolan Muck plays out in this matchup, but I'm a little worried about how this plays up because I don't know what the rest of this Blastoise team is likely to look like. I'm wondering if it's a triple starter team. So here, I'm just going to stay in. I am blowing the shields in this matchup because I'm worried that this might be one where switch advantage is huge. So we're both out of shields now. I've got another Dark Pulse on him. So I don't think this quite takes him out. It does not. And he's able to finish farming me down, but he doesn't have very much health. So I come in with Gyarados, farm him down before he throws a move, which is huge. So either he lagged or he wanted to hold it. He switches into Venusaur, and now I switch over, take the charge move onto my Escavalier. Still a Sludge Bomb, so he blows even more energy with very little results. He switches to a Houndoom really fast, which is a great switch, so he doesn't take the Aerial Ace to the face, but I have enough energy that I can now hit him with a Drill Run, which is going to totally finish off the Houndoom, and then he comes back in with the Venusaur, who just threw energy, and I still beat him to the charge move, and I get the Aerial Ace off, so that's like, I still have a nearly full health Gyarados, and I'm able to come out ahead in that matchup. He does get a move off at the last minute, but he's got a shred of stamina left and no energy. So now the Gyarados comes in, who's got moves ready. Dragon Breath finishes him off. So pretty decisive one there. Overall, cool team. Definitely caught me off guard, but I was happy to come out on top of that one. But I was a little worried there for a minute. Okay, now against Kontaro, 0007. Another Dragonite lead. And I swear, I kept seeing a bunch of these, but I was never quite sure exactly how I want to play them. In this one, I decide I'm going to build up extra, but he doesn't throw a move. And so I'm thinking he built up to the Hurricane, so now I am willing to shield. And it was a Hurricane, so now I'm going to throw back-to-back Aerial Aces. And I think maybe I can flip this matchup since he went Hurricane. So there I get him low. I'm going to go for the farm down. And I'm like, nah, he's going to get a move. So I decide I'm willing to throw an Aerial Ace and conserve health. So there, I'm down a shield, but I win a switch. I decide I want to bank that Drill Run, and I switch out into a Alolan Muck. And he decides to stay in. So again, this is a very common situation. Most people do not have a hard counter to Alolan Muck. I know I'm probably going to start taking some Aqua Tails. I decide that because he chose to stay in, I want to conserve health on this Alolan Muck. Switches out to the Snorlax, and I think that the shield was probably end up worth it. I'm not sure there's going to be a harder hitting move left in this matchup. The Body Slams maybe do the same amount or maybe a little bit more. But I'm going to be able to get off multiple Dark Pulses on the Snorlax and take a huge amount of its health, and I still have a nearly full health, or I have a full health Gyarados and a Drill Run banked on my Escavalier. So I'm feeling pretty good. He throws the superpower to finish me off. I switch in, and I was thinking that I might be able to farm him down, but then he had a move saved up. So I waste my Drill Run, but full health Gyarados farms down the Snorlax. He still has a Gyarados. And this is where I'm like, I'm feeling really good at this point. I'm like, this is a favorable matchup for me. And then he outrages me. I'm like, well, there goes almost all of my health. So I'm like, he still has a shield, so I'm not going to go for the crunch. I throw the Aqua Tail, hoping that I get the last shield. I do, and then I'm able to get to another Aqua Tail in time. And I'm like, oh, is this going to be enough? Is this going to be enough? Is it going to be enough? And it is after one Dragon Breath. And oh man, that was such a close game. That was probably one of the most fun games I had in the whole 25 games of yesterday. So that was a blast. That was super close. I definitely should have probably just thrown the Drill Run at that Snorlax. That would have been the right play. But came out of it okay. All right, so now Escavalier into Poliwrath. I have not played this one before at this point. I haven't seen a lot of Poliwrath leads. So I decide, I think he built to the Dynamic Punch, which is the case. So I'm going to go ahead and throw an Aerial Ace and see what he does now. Sadly, I missed one of the bubbles. He does not shield. And so here I think I decide to go ahead and take it. I want to conserve one shield. I think I can farm him down. And this was a hard decision to make, but I was like, it's an Ice Punch. And it's an Ice Punch. And I barely survive. I'm able to drop him. I'm a little worried that it's going to be a Charizard, and I go down right away. Unfortunately, I clicked Drill Run instead of Aerial. And so I don't get to... I don't get to do super... Or at least don't get to do neutral. But I'm okay with this. I come in with Gyarados. I know here I'm going to take a Dragon Claw, and I'm fine with that. So he does have a shield advantage on me, but I'm able to farm him down before he hits that next move. And then it is a Toxicroak chilling in the back. So throw an Aqua Tail. I'm able to get to another one because those Mud Shots don't do very much damage to Gyarados. So I throw another Aqua Tail, get some more health on him. Now we're even shields. He's got half health, and I have a Alolan Muck. Now, the hard part here is his Mud Bomb actually does super effective. So this is not normally a good matchup, but since I have way more health than he does, I can take that Mud Bomb first. And so I shield the second one. I know he doesn't take effective damage from Dark Pulse, so I build to 2, knowing that he's going to shield the first one, and my hope is that I can just launch the second one before he gets another attack in, which I am able to. At the moment, I wasn't 100% sure if this KOs, but it does. Toxicroak is not a very tanky Pokemon, so close that one out. Again, another very close game. I was really loving these matches. They were so close, so interesting, and my team was really doing work for me. I was really happy with this composition, and I think I'm going to try it more. I'm not sure I want to switch out any of the Pokemon right now. I've recently powered up a Gallade, but this team has just been really doing work for me. Here, this is another lead loss. Even though I can do super effective, the Machamp is just hitting me harder and gets to the moves first. So I take the first Cross Chalk. I'm going to throw an Aerial Ace. I figure that I'll probably get a shield, which I do. I'm hoping to get to another Aerial Ace, but he throws the move. I'm like, actually, I'm okay with this. Now that he's blown his energy, I'm going to go ahead and come in with Gyarados. He switches out right away into the Gengar, which is perfect for me. I switch into my Alolan Muck. But I think this is the game where I got really dumb, to be honest. I started getting my mind that I was going to farm this Gengar down. And then I maxed out on Dark Pulses. And Oh, this was just, I should have just thrown the first Dark Pulse right away, taken the shield, and I continue to go for the farm down. I'm like, this guy builds energy too fast. Now I blew both shields in what should be a winning matchup for me, and oh, it was just sad. So I throw the first Dark Pulse as soon as they come in. I get most of the health off of the Machamp, but then I keep building up and he gets off a move. So the extra energy I built up ended up being worthless. I was really disappointed in myself for how I played that out. So now I've got to deal with a Honchkrow in the back with no shields. I had totally set this up as a winning game, and I just screwed it up. And so this was a hard one. I was, and I was just like, if I just thrown the first Dark Pulse right away, taken the shield, and then played the rest out basically the same way, that would have been a winning match. That was, I got myself into a great situation and then I played it wrong. So good game to my opponent. I definitely got outplayed on that one. Charizard leads super bad, so I switch out right away. I know the Gyarados is the better counter, so I'm just going to come in with the Alolan Muck in case he wants to switch out, but he's staying in. So I toss the Dark Pulse. I think that he's going for a Blast Burn before switching, so I go ahead and shield it up. So I'm feeling good about this. He comes in with a Machamp. This is not a wonderful matchup, but I'm okay with it. I'm going to take another charge move. Chunks, I'm like, oh, I want the Sludge Wave, and then we got a bit of lag, so that was a little rough. I'm hoping that he doesn't shield, but he does. Can I get to another move? Not quite. So that's rough. I'm going to come into whatever charge move he wants right away. I do not want a Rock Slide, and I don't want a shield, so I decided to come in with Escavalier so I can take a Cross Chop. Now I'm going to have to take another one. Not great, but I think I can potentially get the last shield with this Aerial Ace. He switches the Charizard, deletes the Escavalier, but now I'm going to farm down the Charizard with Gyarados. I'm going to tank the move. He just throws a Dragon Claw because I want the shield for a Rock Slide. And so let's see what he comes back in with. Now it's the Machamp. Throw an Aqua Tail right away. If I can avoid a Rock Slide, I think I have a chance. So I just throw the Aqua Tail. I get the last shield. Can I get to the Aqua Tail before he Rock Slides? No. So now I'm like, I have just a dream situation in the back. What can I do? I farm him all the way down now since he threw his move. And I'm just like, what can it be? I am so screwed. Gengar! Oh my god, Gengar win condition. Throw the Crunch. It's going to do super effective. Most of the health is gone. Can I get to an Aqua Tail? And I do. I cannot believe I was able to win this matchup with like a third of the health on my Gyarados. This is one of those testaments to like, don't quit. Even when it looks rough, there may be a win condition in the back. I spent most of that matchup thinking, I've lost this match. But close it out. That's my last game of the day. What a great way to end the set. So thank you to everyone who's been watching. Thank you to everyone who's been supporting me. Big shout out to super fan Chrissy. I'm glad you're enjoying the videos, and I will have more coming for you very soon. So see all you nerds in the next video. Later.